Hi, today we're going to see how to create a page curl effect in Photopea. So the first thing we need to do is to create a new layer. So click on this icon here. So here it is. Now I'm going to fill this layer with the white. So select the left click here, select the pen bucket tool. So here it is. Make sure the foreground color is white and now left click. So here it is. Now I'm going to place my layer here, my white layer under the women layer. And now I'm going to create a rectangle. So select the left click here, select the rectangle. And now I'm going to make my rectangle. So here it is. And now I want to, so for this rectangle here, make sure to not add the stroke. So here I didn't add the stroke. So for the color, I'm going to add the gradient to it. So select on the fill here. And here select the gradient. And now for the angle, I'm going to change it from black here to white here. So I'm just going to change the angle like this. So here I think it's okay. And now I'm just going to control a little bit the transition here. So here it is. And now select the move tool. Now I'm going to move my rectangle layer here on the bottom right edge here of my Canva layer. So here it is. And now I'm going to convert these two layers here, the women layer and the rectangle layer, into smart object. So select the rectangle layer, hold the shift key and then left click on the women layer to select it. So now I have both layers selected, right click, and then here click on convert smart object. So here it is. Now for example, if I double click here, so it has this icon here, the square icon. If I double click, so here we are inside our layer. So it created a new image here, it's PSD. So here it is. So here, for example, you can change the image you want instead of the women, for example, place an image of nature or something like that. So now I'm going to exit from this one here. So here it is. Press OK. Now I'm going to select the warp. So select the women layer, go to edit, transform, and then warp. And now here, I'm going to select this handle here. You can take any handle from this one here. And then here, I'm going to move it. So like this, as you can see, because of our gradient, it had kind of it's darker on the bottom here of the fold. So here you can also use these handles here to control, for example, the warp. So here, these handles too. So I'm going to leave it here. And now just click on this icon here to confirm the warp. So here it is. And now I want to add a shadow here on the just on this area here. So I want to select only this area. So in order to do so, I'm just going to hide the white layer here on the bottom. So we have transparency here on the women layer. So now select the magic wand tool, left click here, select magic wand tool. Make sure in the settings here to check unite to add to your current selection. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make selection from this fold here, this triangle here. I'm going to make selection from it. And then I'm going to invert it. So it will be selecting this area and the transparent. And then I'm just going to remove the transparent area to have only this area selected. So now left click here on this, make sure you're on the women layer. So I'm going to add to the selection. So here, since we are on unite, make sure to continue select all the layers. So here it is. Now I have selected all the fold here. Now I'm going to invert this selection. So go to select and then inverse. So now we inverted our selection. So this part and this part are selected. And now I'm just going to remove the transparent part here. So go make sure you're on the magic wand tool. And then here on settings, just click on subtract. And now I'm just going to click on the transparent area to remove it from the selection. So here it is. And now we just have this part here, the area here of the layer selected. And now I'm going to add my shadow here. So select the left click here, select the paintbrush tool. Make sure the foreground is black. So I'm just going to click on these two icons here to turn the foreground and background to black and white. So for this size, I'm going to increase it to here, for example. So I'm going to increase it here. And now for the hardness, I'm going to reduce it quite a bit. So I'm going to increase here. So now I'm just going to paint. So make sure to create a new layer. So click on this icon here, create a new layer so we can have our shadow on a separate layer. And now I'm just going to add my shadow. So here, and also blur it. So for me, I'm just going to reduce the opacity. So here, so I reduced it to 4%. So let's see before and after. So here there's just a slight shadow. So now I'm going to remove my selection. So go to select and then deselect. So here it is. And now I'm going to select my smart object, the women layer here. I'm going to add a slight drop shadow here. So I'm going to click on the eye icon here to show the white layer under it. So select the women layer, right click on it, and then select blending options. Now I'm going to move the window here so we can see the effect. And then here just select drop shadow. And now I'm going to just play with the angle here to make my drop shadow on the bottom. This part here, so here it is. So here you can control the opacity. Here the distance, for example, how far it's going to be. And here I'm going spread. And for the size, it's going to control the blur. For example, here for the distance, I'm going to bring it down a little bit, so I don't want to overdo it. So for example, I think I'm going to leave it with this one here, and now just press OK. And now, for example, here, since we created the smart object from this women layer here, you can change this layer here. So I'm just going to double click on this layer. It has a square here. So here it is. As you can see, it opened new layer, a new image, sorry. Here's our previous, and here's our smart objects. It has the shape and the women. So now, for example, I'm going to bring an image here. So this is the image. So now I'm going to place this layer here under the rectangle layer. Now I'm going to scale it up to cover all the layers. So select the move tool. Make sure to select the transform controls, click on them, click on it, sorry. I'm going to move my layer here on top. And then here I'm going to use this handle here to scale it to cover all the layer. So here it is. I'm going to leave it here. We still have our women layer. It's okay. And now I'm just going to save this smart object here. So you can go to File. And here you can either click on File Smart Object, Save Smart Object, sorry, or Control S. So I'm going to left click. So here it is, Smart Object updated. And now I can exit from this smart object, just delete it. So here it is, and here is our layer. I'm just going to click here on transform control to remove them. So here is our shadow on top. And now if you want to create a new layer from what's visible on the Canva, hold the Alt key, the Control key, and the Shift key, and then press E. So here it is. That's how you can create a page curl effect in Photopea. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day, and till next time.